I'm wrestling, do not weep for me. Celebrate what I am. Celebrate what I have been. Celebrate what I represent. And celebrate the many ways I have impacted your life. I will survive this test as I have survived others. I am forever etched into the very fiber of all mankind. The world needs me. Time is on my side. History guarantees me. I am wrestling. Do not wait for me.
What's up, everybody? This is Ben Askren, and you're listening to episode number 49 of the T-Row and Funky Show, brought to you, as always, by Defend Soap. Defend what you have built. Tommy, what's up, man?
Nothing much, my man. Just living the dream, ready to get after it and talk about all the good things that are going on in wrestling right now.
It is wrestling season. I want to let you know we did pick up another sponsor. We picked up Dahlinger Mats. Obviously, they've been around forever in the wrestling community. They have that fantastic new technology where you don't even have to use tape to tape them together. You don't have to use tape to put them together.
That's awesome. You're acting like I didn't know that we picked up a new sponsor. Like you just wanted to let me know that.
I was telling the audience because they didn't know. They didn't know.
How you doing since the Trump victory? You know, I mean, are you still doing a victory dance in the streets? Or
you know what? I didn't want to brag because I didn't want it to be like, and this is what I see on Facebook, and I've pretty much stayed off Facebook and haven't watched much news last week because of how people are acting. But
it's brutal.
I didn't want it to be like, my guy won. See, I'm smarter than you. You're an idiot. I didn't want it to be like that. I thought Trump was the best candidate for America, for we the people, to help our country grow and prosper. So I didn't want it to be like I won. It was just like, yeah, am I very content that Trump won? Yes, I'm very content that Trump won. Do I think he was the best candidate for the job? Yes, I do. But the amount of hatred going on Facebook is just like, I've been off it because it's been blowing my mind. I mean,
I need to get off it too.
And really, Tommy, to me it's bizarre from the one side, and I might even take some heat for this, but the side that doesn't like Trump is saying the only people that voted for Trump are the dumb, redneck, uneducated white people. And it's like, to me, it's like, well, you people are the one who are offended all the time, the people who are saying these type of things, right? And it's like, well, what if I said the majority of black voters who are on welfare voted for Hillary? Because that's what happened. But I wouldn't do that because that we're lumping categories, and that's what makes people mad, and that's what makes people hate each other. So neither side should do that. We should stick to the issues as opposed to trying to demonize who voted for the other candidate. It's ridiculous.
Or the part that bothers me the most is that since you vote for a candidate, and I'm saying the same thing you're saying, but since you vote for a candidate, you then therefore inherit their characteristics as a person.
Sure.
It's like, what planet are we on right now, guys? I mean, my buddy said it best. He's like, if you think Trump's, this, that, and the other thing, if you watch NFL football, that means you endorse every single football player on the NFL football field's behaviors off the field. And it's like, we know that's not the case. We know we don't endorse, a man punching a woman in the face, but it's the same type of thing. Since you're supporting that person's profession, you then inherit their personal characteristics as a human being.
Sure.
And so it's difficult. I got to give you credit, Ben. Plus, we had a very nice, well thought out email from a fan of ours, and he went into how in episode 1 you said you're a Trump guy, and you did say in episode 1 of this podcast that you're a Trump guy, that you think he's the best candidate. I said I won't be voting for Trump. In that case, it was it was for the primary.
Yeah, for the primary, of course.
I did say in episode 1 that he's good for the American political landscape, so I will say that I did say that. But I also said I won't be voting for him. Ben, I got to give you some props, man, because you call a lot of things out. And, I can't say that you were right about Trump being a good president because we don't know that yet, right?
We don't know. It's still to be determined.
But you were right about the country getting behind this guy and voting for him.
Yeah.
Got to give you some props.
Well, thank you, Tommy. And the other thing that's bugged me right now, and like I said, I'm not trying to brag by any sense of imagination. I wanted the best candidate for America. I want America to prosper. And I want us to all get along, frankly, because, like I said, the fighting on Facebook and everything else is like, I'm just staying out of that shit.
I don't know why people say Trump's a xenophobe. He's married 2 immigrants.
Hello, McFly. I know. It's so seriously. Anyway, well, these people are people around the world who are oppressed protest for democratic elections. People in America are protesting the democratic election. We had a free democratic election in which one candidate won, and people are protesting because they don't like who won. Like, what are you doing?
Yeah.
I mean, my God. Most people probably don't have a job or something. That's why they're protesting. I mean, how else do you have that amount of time? Right?
I don't know. It's rough. It's rough. It's going to be an interesting dynamic in this country. It's going to be.
Let's get along, America.
Let's do it. Let's do it.
Okay, so let's get off the point. I do. Well, you know what? We are kind of getting off the political stuff, but we're going to start with.
Let's start with it. Let's bring that heat. Yeah.
Well, I mean, and Tommy, and Matt, the guy who wrote the email, said it'd be more fun if we could disagree, but I think we agree on all that stuff. Did you see that the Columbia University wrestling team has been suspended for? They didn't give a time period. They said kind of the season.
They want to investigate it further.
These private messages. I guess there's a group messaging app that the team was using.
Have you read the messages?
Yeah, they're bad, but I've seen worse.
Yeah, I haven't read them yet. I'm trying to look them up.
It's kind of hard to find. It's kind of hard to find them on Google because I was trying to tell my wife about them. And yeah,
can you try to find them and read them off without saying if there are expletives?
Yeah,
I can't find it, man.
I could do that. It was okay. So So anyways, but I think there's a lot of things, and I don't have legal knowledge here, Tommy, but. Number one, why would you suspend the entire team, not just a handful of people who are the violators? Because I'm sure it wasn't the entire team sending the messages.
This was also in 2014. So
it goes back to 2014, but it goes into the current.
Okay. Shows what I.
Yeah, but I believe it goes into the current. And so, number one, I mean, it's a private messaging device. It's not a public forum in any way, shape, or form. So, is that even legal? Can you take private stuff like that or no?
I don't know, man. I really don't know.
Okay, and then, for me, it's like, like I said, why didn't they just suspend the handful of athletes who were the violators? I mean,
it's because, and I'm saying this without reading the comments, but we just live in a CYA society. And cover your ass. And that is not any more prevalent.
Okay, I found them.
It's not any more prevalent than academia. And it's just, it's like, have you ever seen The Scent of a Woman? You ever seen that movie?
No, I haven't.
With Al Pacino? Oh, gosh. It's the greatest movie monologue ever. Anyways, talking about creative leadership and really what is an education and things of that nature. I'm just concerned that, it's like, is this what's best for those kids? And, but I also don't know.
But at the same time, Tommy, they didn't break any laws. There was 0 laws broken here, right?
So can you read this stuff? Don't use expletives. We'll be able to.
Yeah, I won't read it. And it is kind of bad. And would I say this stuff? No, highly unlikely. But that being said,
is it bad enough where you can't read it?
Columbia BITCHs feel entitled to something when in reality they're all socially awkward. Blank.
Yeah.
I mean, that's bad, but like not breaking the laws. Like people in Africa still can't tell time, and that's why even if we gave them free AIDS medicine, they wouldn't be able to use it properly.
It's bad.
People in Ferguson, they only broke into rim shops and pawn shops. And there was an expletive in there. How would I don't even know what this is, because they got some letters blank. This one says, how would I obtain a girlfriend? I barely pull, and there's some letters missing, and I'm not even really sure what it says, to tell you the truth. What a gay F word. She's your Latina porn star because you're a white male. Which that doesn't even make sense. I don't understand what it means. So, those are definitely, that is some locker room talk if you're using Donald Trump words here, but definitely no breaking of the law in any way, shape, or form. Or I don't know. What do you feel? You feel like these guys the whole team should have got suspended for this?
it's indefensible words that unfortunately get used a lot. I think it is, as sad as it is that these kids, said that stuff. I don't know that their wrestling season should be taken away.
Yeah.
If the depth of their comments isn't any deeper than a group chat, there should be reconciliation and corrective action for what they did.
Yeah.
No doubt about it.
No
but
doubt.
to take away their wrestling season, I'm not sure that fits.
Yeah. Punishment fits the crime.
What about you?
Yeah, I would venture to say the same thing.
So Ben, I got to tell you.
What?
All right, I know that you and I probably have a little bit more of a conservative lean than liberal lean. Although I think socially, in a lot of ways, we're liberal.
I would say socially liberal, but some of these people, like you, Tommy, you could try as hard as you can, and you won't be able to offend me. For the love of me, I can't see how people get offended so easily by words. Like
I think we should have Hudson Taylor.
You can say whatever you want to me. I'm not going to get offended. That's your thought process. You might be stupid. You might be smart. You might have a good point. You might have a bad point. But that's you. Like if I don't agree with you, I'm just not going to listen to you. It's as simple as it is. Anyway.
I think that about you. That it would take a lot to offend you. It doesn't take much to offend me, though.
Really?
No, I don't get offended, but
Okay.
I am a sensitive person.
Hudson Taylor obviously has a strong liberal lean, and
I think we would have an interesting
him and my
discussion.
brother wrestled a lot, and I follow his Facebook, and I guess I don't know what the discussion would be. I guess we would just start with him and say, what's
You
your
could talk about Colombia.
what's your objective here, and then we'd go from there.
Yeah, let's do it.
Because he's in the Athletes in Action about promoting equality, equality and openness.
Well, I mean, he certainly has a very noble initiative in place. I mean, I'm not going to argue that what he does is bad. It's good. But sometimes, he takes positions that I'd love to engage in dialogue with him about. You know what I mean?
Sure. I agree.
Well, let's consider
Let's get on to the wrestling.
Okay, dude. Let's go.
All right, Bill Farrell. We can mention the other weight classes, but really the two fun weight classes are the ones where...
I want to mention Hunter Stiebler.
Okay. Well, you're just going to skip to that weight class. Go ahead.
No, not Logan Hunter.
I know Hunter. That was a non-Olympic team trials weight or non-world team trials weight class.
Yeah, Hunter did good. He's a Buckeye.
That's
all I got to say.
Well,
That's all I gotta
now
say.
he's a Sooner.
He's a Buckeye.
Okay, so let's get, because these two brackets were deep, 61 and 70.
Yep.
Let's start with 61. Obviously, your man Logan Stieber took everybody out very impressively. Yeah. But there's so much to talk about. I'm looking at the bracket now, Tommy. There's so much to talk about in this bracket. There's
no doubt. Should we start with Logan or end with Logan?
Let's start with Logan. The one notable entry that's missing here is Tony Ramos. Obviously, I don't know where he was at. But he was the United States representative in the World Cup at 61 kilos, so it's not like he's not accustomed to wrestling this weight class. So I don't know if him getting his ass kicked by Cody Brewer made him salty to the process, or why he didn't show up to try to participate here, because obviously he was eligible.
No doubt.
You have any idea?
No, I don't think so. I mean, I don't think he's big enough for the weight.
He wrestled at the World Cup. And honestly, Tommy, a lot of these guys are 57 kilo guys. And Sean Garrett's a 57 kilo guy. Alan Waters is a 57 kilo guy. Andrew Hochester is a 57 kilo guy. So there's a lot of 57 kilo guys in this bracket.
True.
True. Okay, let's go. Logan Stieber. What's your take?
I think the biggest takeaway I have is not necessarily how he wrestled, although he wrestled great, but it's just the right weight class.
Yeah, 100%.
And
weight class.
that's really all I have to say about that. It's just like he's wrestling at the right weight class, and you're seeing the product of it.
Yeah, and that's one of those things where we talked about the all-time top 10 list. Where they're taking away weights now. It's like Logan Stieber may never get a chance to compete in the Olympics if they don't change the weight class, because 45 is not a weight class for him. That's not a good weight class for him.
It's just not, man.
It's just too big.
It's not. It's
and
too
he can't
big.
make 25, and that's unfair to him.
This weight is the perfect weight for him, and I think I'd be shocked if he doesn't medal, Ben.
Yeah, honestly,
Wouldn't you?
Yeah, I feel the same way. He was so dominant here. I love what he does on top. He was so strong on top.
He's got the trapped arm leg in series from
Yep.
Roselli. He's obviously got the bar.
Yep.
He's getting better at attacking ankles, low level laces,
Yep.
and stuff like that. I mean, he's total package on top. And his gut has got to be just a freaking bear.
Yeah. So I loved what he was doing on top. And hey, Tommy, I gotta laugh. I just got this text. It always comes through on my computer. You can never hear them. So I was recruiting teams for my Winter Classic duels today, and I went to this website of this one team, and I got the coach's number off it, and I texted him, "Hey, this has been asking you want to come to the duels," and this dude Tommy has been texting me like the rest of the day. So I texted him, "Hey, you want to come?" He said, "Bro, homie, who is this? I ain't Jeff. I'm Tyrone." And I said, "Guess I got the wrong number. Sorry." He said,
Bro, homie.
And then he said, "Yo, Yeet, you like G-Eazy?" And I said, "Sure, Farrell owns a good song." He goes, and then he said, "How about opportunity cost? What state y'all live in?" Like, what is this guy doing? Like, he just wants to talk to a stranger or something.
That's right. I like it. I like
My man, Tyrone called me bro homie.
You're the perfect guy to have a random text conversation.
I kind of regretted that I even responded in the first place, and now he keeps texting me. Oh, God. Okay. So we were talking about how tough Stieber is on top. I love it. He's a beast. I think he's gonna medal very high at the.
I could see him winning it.
I could see him winning it for sure.
I'm willing to go as far to say as I'll be surprised if he doesn't medal.
Okay, so hey, let me take this back again to the 10 weight classes versus the 6. It's such a big difference, Tommy, and these old timers don't want to give credence to it. But think about like a Dake, right? If there was a 74, 170,
let's just go deep on this and just act like a millennial that needs our safe space and really just talk about this openly and honest.
Shut the hell up.
Just bag all the old.
Talking about reality here, Tommy.
I know. Let's talk about reality. The reality is that if you got 10 weights times 3 medals, that's 30 medals. You got 6 weights at the Olympics times 4 medals, that's 24 medals.
No, okay? But Tommy, they're missing the point of it. There's almost as many medals, but the issue is certain individuals are totally screwed by the weight classes.
That is true.
That's the huge issue right there. Certain individuals are totally screwed by these weight classes. And so it's not fair because the gaps are so large. The gaps are so big between some of these weight classes that it's hard to be competitive. If you Logan Stieber's our great example. Logan Stieber is never going to be competitive in the Olympic gear because he's just too small. And if the weight class is 134,
yet he's going to walk onto the mat at the World Championships, and I think the other countries would agree, as a top 3 or 4 guy in the world entering the tournament.
Yeah, he's beaten some of the better guys at 65 kilos, being significantly undersized. But then you throw someone like a Dacre or Taylor. If there's a 175-ish weight class, somewhere in there above 162, because that gap 163 to 189 is just, and that's the gap I'm in. If I were to ever want to compete again, it's like
I actually think it's the worst gap.
It's the worst one. It's terrible.
And there's some bad ones in there. I'm not saying that, but I think that's the worst one.
It's 26 pounds, Tommy. Do you realize how big that is?
43 though is bad too.
That's pretty bad. These freaking weight classes. Fila or UWW, get your shit together, boy. Add some damn weight classes. Tell the Olympics to shove it.
Make wrestling great again.
For God's sake, I'm gonna start my own damn. Tommy, I swear to God, if I don't play the lottery because it's a waste of money, but if I somehow make many, many millions of dollars, I will be hosting my own world championships, and Fila can go. I don't want to try not to cuss on radio.
You can do it with one camp registration at a time.
Ooh, there we go. Okay, so Graf was second place. Graf is so dominant, Tommy, but he's so bad in the finals. This guy can't win shit. I mean, I don't want to belittle him, but he blows it. I mean, he wasn't even slightly competitive against Logan Stieber.
10-0, 10-0.
10-0, 10-0.
So Jason Ness gave Logan the best match of the tournament.
Ness is tough. I got to watch it. I mean, Nick Lee, now we're kind of going back in the bracket, but Nick Lee beat up Alan Waters. Now, Alan Waters this isn't his best weight class. But
freestyle is not necessarily his bag.
Yeah, and it's not his weight class either. But Nickley beating a high school kid beating you up is pretty bad. But then Ness just goes out, takedown gut lace, or I can't remember how it went, but it was 10-0, definitely less than a minute over Nickley, so he just made him look bad. Then Ness was very competitive against Stieber in the semis.
More competitive than the score would indicate.
And then Ness beats up on Nishan Garrett, and then he beats up on Cody Brewer in the wrestleback. I mean, that's a pretty impressive run there that Jason Ness went on. And, there's another guy that I would say this is the best weight class for him. 143 is just too big for him. And then I want to go back. So, wait, what do you think about Graf? Graf just can't wrestle in the finals. Is that what we're getting down to?
I mean, history would show you that he's really dominant in a lot of rounds other than the finals. So yeah.
Okay, because, he hammered Cody Brewer, and Cody Brewer hammered Tony Ramos.
It's weird because I think Graf is great, but going into the finals,
you knew there was no chance.
I was just like, man, Logan's going to dominate.
Yeah.
I maybe might not have said 10-0, 10-0, but that's 20-0 in 6 minutes of wrestling, 4 minutes and 6 seconds, and 1 minute and 46. So he beat Tyler Graf 20-0 in 6 minutes of wrestling.
Yeah, that's insane.
Yeah.
Hey, did you watch? This may have been the match turn. Did you watch Brewer versus Nishan Garrett? I know we said
15-12. I saw the score,
okay.
but
no, it was a fall.
Oh, okay.
Okay, but so Brewer goes up big right away, and then but there's this. When we're talking about bad reffing, Tommy, I watched this 5 times, and I was like scratching my head. And then I called Sam Hazelwinkle because Sam Hazelwinkle was in the corner. So Garrett's got an underhook. And he's down. Let me think what the score was. The score was 7-11. Okay, and he pushes Brewer towards the edge, and Brewer freaking bombs him. Right, just lat drop, boom, hard. There was no pause on his back. There was nothing on Brewer's part.
Right.
Well, they go for Garrett. Right, and I thought, hey, maybe I saw that wrong. Well, then Brewer's corner, which is Sam Hazelwinkle. They throw the ball in the challenge block, right? They look at it and they still award for Garrett and then give him the point. And Tommy, I don't know how it is even possible that this happened. It is that clear. Okay, even if you say Nishan Garrett stepped out of bounds, well, I would think he'd be able to continue his action. But if not, you give him one. His back didn't even. It wasn't even like a split second stop on his back. He freaking bombed him. It was such a terrible call. I don't even know what to say. Just bad. Okay, so we hit up 61 kilo pretty good. I think Logan Stieber's going to do really well. Let's skip up to 70, the other Olympic weight class. And so you had a mini tournament here, and then the mini tournament winner got James Green because James Green...
He was the world medalist in 15.
Correct.
In Vegas.
So what do you tell me what you feel about this weight class?
The guys we said would be in the thick of it. We were in the thick of it. And you had some flashes of brilliance from folks like Mymar, but just not ready to get through a tough tournament like that at that level. I don't feel any worse about did I say Mymar?
You meant Mymar.
I meant Isaiah Martinez.
I knew what you meant.
Yeah, I'm just a Buckeye guy. Anyways, I don't feel any less.
Really?
No,
I do.
Not at all.
And I definitely. I'll tell you, when I watched him do what he did to Kellen Russell, it was ugly. And Kellen Russell's very good, 2-time NCAA champ. He made him look terrible, Tom. He just dominated. I thought, oh shit, he's gonna win this tournament for sure. And then he's already got wins over James Green, so I think he beat James Green. But Jimmy Kennedy veteraned him. He veteraned him all day long.
That's why I don't feel bad about it.
But I don't know. It's not like Isaiah's a kid anymore. What's he, probably 21, 22 years old? And you got to make some of those adjustments. And he just kept trying to force the underhooks when the underhooks weren't there. And then that obviously gave Kennedy the opportunity to score a whole bunch of points. And when Imar tried doing, when he kind of did finally change his game plan in the second period, it started working more. And then obviously he came back and it ended up 10-9. But I don't know. Those are some... those are some adjustments you got to make as a now he's a 21, 22-year-old. He's not a young guy anymore. He's got to figure it out.
Yeah, but I feel like Isaiah Martinez is the greatness in him has nothing to do with his ability to have tactics and strategy in a match. And it's all about his power, his explosion, his fortitude.
Sure,
You know,
sure.
and so
Yeah, I can
I
see
just feel
that.
like I feel like what he got beat on is not something that he can't fix literally in short order.
Sure. Okay. I can agree with that.
So, anyways, but he
Yeah,
did.
and
He got outfoxed. He got sly foxed.
yeah.
Throwing the Brutus pun in
But
there.
and you know what's funny is Jimmy Kennedy was at one point a 61 kilo guy. Remember that?
Yeah, Jimmy Kennedy is jacked right now, Ben.
Yeah.
I don't even know what's going on over
Beefy.
there up there in Ann Arbor.
Is
He
he?
is jacked.
Nice. But he didn't offer much resistance to Jordan Oliver, did he? I mean,
No, he
Jordan was. I don't even want to say this because Oliver's got national titles, but Oliver's another guy who in freestyle. I mean, he goes 12-1 over LaValle, 8-2 over Chamberlain, 9-2 over Kennedy, and then I don't know. When watching the finals, him and James Green, I just feel like his offense is so dynamic, but he never lets it go. He just does it, I feel like,
Yeah.
hey man, you got to let this go and see what happens. And if great stuff happens, it does. If bad stuff happens, it doesn't.
I'll tell you, man. I mean, you essentially, no matter how good your training environment is post college, it's not as consistent and as watched over and as scrutinized and watched with the magnifying glass as college. And I think that Jordan Oliver, he's great, right? But I think that he really benefited from consistency over a period of time type training at the collegiate level where he was really, really, really clean and sharp at the end of the year. And he's great, but I feel like I've seen him. He's better at tactics and strategy now, but I've seen him wrestle cleaner and sharper when he was in college. And I don't mean that as a slight. It's just more of an observation because he's still competing at a high level with these guys, both domestically and internationally. But I've just seen him have cleaner, crisper shots when he was working out, heavily all the time, every day for 3 or 4 months.
Yeah, yeah, I guess so. But so he comes up short against James Green, and it was super close, but just doesn't get the job done. Which is, I feel like he's been in a bunch of finals. I feel like he's lost to Metcalf like that a few times. Didn't he lose to Kellen Russell in the finals one time? Maybe.
Not sure.
I feel like there's someone else he lost to in the finals like that. So, anyways, James Green looked good. Good, not great, I would say. I think is obviously a threat for another world medal. Has good solid offense, but even more than anything, because finally in the second match, Oliver did start letting it fly a little more towards the end, and Green's defense, he gave up some points, but his defense held up. So
Yeah, he looked good, man.
you want to go to these non world team trial weights? So you already talked about 65.
We can do a once over. Nico Megaludis beating a Russian. Good win. Nice win, especially right out of college. I was impressed with that. I thought he looked pretty good. I watched a couple of his matches.
Heavyweight, you got this is your own weight class.
Yeah.
Tony Nelson over Don Bradley. But only 7 people showed up at heavyweight. I thought that was weird.
Yeah, it's brutal.
Brutal. And then only
Greatest
eight,
weight class ever, and they can't, show
8
up.
people showed up at 97 kg, and that was Dustin Kilgore over JT Felix. Nothing too notable there. 86 kilogram is Aaron Trotman over Timmy McCall.
Austin Troutman. Come on, dude.
Oh, shoot. Austin Trotman. I almost had to fight this guy once. I got so mad. Tommy, this dude, this sneaky. When I was coaching him,
Sneaky snake.
Sneaky.
Is he like a little sly fox?
He pulled. It was overtime wrestling. A kid named Jake Meredith that I coached at Stone. He pulled the front headgear strap to a double leg. I was like, how did the ref not see that? Like it was so obvious. He posted and then he slid his fingers in and he pulled the headgear real fast and blasted a double leg. And I was like, how did the ref not see that? How did he not that? Is just blatant cheating. I don't even know what to say.
Oh yeah.
But I think the surprise of this bracket was Timmy McCall with the 10-0 over Richard Perry in the semis. I mean, that's a big win for him.
No doubt. I mean, that's a big deal. A lot of people are high on Richard Perry. I am, but McCall beating him is obviously impressive.
Yep, and then you got I guess the other big one from the non.
Derringer beating a world medalist. I mean, it's a big deal. This is a guy fresh out of college. You got Mekalutis knocking off the Russian. Do you know anything about Badrudinov?
Badrudinov?
That's the guy who Mekalutis beat?
No, I don't know shit about him.
Okay. Either do I. But I do know Abdurakhmanov.
Yeah, he beat Burroughs 2 months ago.
Yeah, so it's a good win.
So that's a really good win.
Really good
win. That's going to be a fun weight class this year because you're going to have Derringer, you're going to have Dakin, you're going to have Burroughs, along with probably, I wouldn't be shocked if Mark Hall hopped in there, junior world champion, and a bunch of other studs. That's going to be a fun weight class, I think.
No doubt.
Who else could hop in there? IMR's probably going to stay at 54, at 70 kilo.
I wouldn't be surprised if Aaron Pico is big enough by then.
He ain't wrestling. He'll fight, dude.
He's going to wrestle.
No, he's not.
How much do you want to bet he's at the Olympic trials in 2020?
Has he told you that?
No.
I heard this dude can fight. Like, no joke. I've been talking to guys in the gym, and they were like, this dude is freaking good. Like, they said,
really?
They said he hits hard, he's precise. Obviously, his wrestling's top-notch. But, yeah, they said, man, for a little dude, he hits hard. He hits really, really hard.
Really?
Yeah. So this dude's going to be making too much money.
I bet he's at
wrestling in the trials. What do you want to bet? I get a signature Rudis shoe if you're wrong.
Okay.
That's a big bet right there, Tommy. You making the Rudis.
No, I'm going to give you a signature Rudis shoe.
Yeah, the funky.
No, I'm going to give you one of our signature shoes.
No. You just agreed to making me the funky shoe if Pico doesn't wrestle in 2020.
We should make a T-Row and Funky shoe.
T-Row and Funky shoe.
Hey, speaking of T-Row and Funky.
Where's on the side looking good?
I've been working out for 3 weeks, Ben. I've lost 7 pounds.
Whoa!
I probably could make it through the first period of a match at this point.
There we go. So what kind of workout you been doing? A little CrossFit, a little running, what?
A little soccer mom workout.
What's that?
Monday through Friday.
Hot yoga? I like some hot yoga.
Some hot yoga, a little stretching, some intervals on the treadmill.
Oh, there you go.
Stuff like that. But
wrestling's hard. Don't wrestle until like the last little bit. Maybe just drill. Get your body moving.
Well, that's what I'm getting at. Is like, are we doing this Midlands thing? That's what got me motivated.
Well, we got 13 months still. Your skills haven't diminished, Tommy. It's like riding a freaking bicycle. They're still there.
The timing.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Not so nice right now.
You don't need to spend a lot of months training. You need to get in shape. You need to make it happen, and then maybe the last 6 weeks you do some wrestling. But
I just can't have any super studs enter the tournament.
Well, Tommy, you need to kind of realize you're an old man now. You can't be the Tommy Rollins that was attacking the legs.
So just one leg attack per period.
No, you just got to be heavy on them and let these dumb kids make mistakes.
Well, that's true.
They're 18 and 20-year-old kids. They don't know what the hell
I got to be in good enough shape to clear ties at all times.
No, you sprawl and then you break them down.
And but I can't have some Iowa or Minnesota guy just banging on my head for 6 minutes. I'll pass out by the third period. And
then you just stand up and then they're like, oh no, I got to shoot, and then they shoot and then boom, they're done.
I could bait them. I could invite them to shoot on my legs.
Yeah, I love it when people shoot on my legs. Come on, bring it, kids.
Are you doing this? Are we doing the Midlands team?
It sounds like we're doing it. Sure.
We got 13 months.
Got 13 months. We could do it.
All right.
Well, we'll probably start recruiting next spring or so. Okay. Recruiting classes. I guess the big one that came out today was Dayton Fix to Oklahoma State. I felt like this was obvious. I think it was
obvious.
Duh.
I think it was obvious to everyone, man.
They've been trying to draw this one out like it's a surprise or something. Like, we all knew where that dude was going.
Well, yeah, it's
Give me a break.
I kind of think it's weird that kids are doing it like that now.
I mean, I get it. From Flo's perspective, I get it because that's what they do. But like I said, for Dayton Fix, for some of these guys, like when Whitlake and Bravo Young did it, I didn't know where those dudes were going.
Right.
But I could have told you where Dayton Fix was going. That dude was going to Oklahoma State. His dad wrestled with John Smith. If he tried going somewhere else, John Smith would have went and put a lasso on his ass and drug him to Stillwater. I mean, it would have been that easy.
Yeah.
I mean, that was done deal. All right, so let's go through some of these recruiting classes that are really good, and you can give me your take on who the best one is. And some of these are obviously they're a little bit bigger, and some of them got a little more pop at the top. And one that I really like right off the bat is Cornell's, and it's not super deep. They have some guys, but it's headlined by Vitaly Aruja and Yain Diakamales.
Look at you, dude.
I always mess up. Dikama, I don't know. Anyways.
Try
I think it's Diamakahales. I believe it's Diamakahales.
Okay.
Anyways.
See, you stepped up.
Yeah, I think it is. And I think those two guys are guys who are going to place a lot of times at the NCAA tournament.
No doubt.
So from that point, and that's what a lot of how many points are they going to get at the NCAA tournament from those guys? And I think the answer I'm saying is a lot. Iowa had a very good recruiting class. So you got the one that just came out recently was Jacob Warner, and Mark Perry has to be pissed about this one at Illinois because Jacob Warner is not far away from Champaign, Illinois.
Right.
And so I know Mark Perry was really wanting to get him, but Iowa landed him, Max Murin, Spencer Lee, who's the number one guy in the class, and I think he's a for sure winner there, and Luke Troy, a really tough kid out of California. So I think they have a really strong class. Iowa State right down the road's got Austin Gomez, Jared Verclaren, Jake Allar, Marcus Coleman. Good, not great. And obviously we talked about how bad Iowa State struggled, and one of the things I think they really struggle on is mat wrestling, and so obviously you got to get the kids into college, and then you got to develop the kids into what they're going to become.
No doubt. I mean, I don't know. What other good classes do we have?
Well, what about the Ohio State University?
Ohio State did well. I don't think it's the best class, but you got Singletary. You've got who is kind of a sleeper.
People would be a sleeper. He's ranked like number 1.
No, Romero is what I was talking about.
I'm sorry, Romero.
Romero is a little bit of a sleeper, only because he doesn't wrestle out of state.
Yeah.
But the kid's got.
But he plays like 3 sports or something.
Yeah, he's got like
if talent existed, he would have it.
Yeah, he has a lot of innate gifts, as you and Martin would put it, or innate advantages, I think, is what it is. Sure. Yeah, he's got a lot of those innate advantages, such as speed, power, quickness, and agility. But anyways, he has like 1 trillion yards rushing and 1 million yards passing, and his team's 12-0 right now, and he's the quarterback in the state playoffs. So, they have him, and then, those are the 2 headliners. I think they were waiting on Dayton Fix, even though I don't think anybody should be surprised, to your point.
Yeah. Well, the class I really like, and this is your boy here, I really like Oklahoma's class. It might not have the standouts like the Spencer Lee or like the Dayton Fix or Jacob Warner, like we talked about some of those schools had. But really, they got some great depth, and for someone who's just taking over a program like Lou Roselli is, that's kind of what you need, right?
Yeah.
I mean, you're not going to get the stars, and honestly, I would rate this class higher than Oklahoma State's class, and that's something that Oklahoma hasn't done in a long time. So they got Dom Demas, who's from Ohio. They got Kyle Lawson from Ohio. They have Anthony Mantanona from California, who I'm weary of him. He's so up and down, and college, if you're up and down, that's going to be a rough go.
Right.
They got Tanner Latrell out of Oklahoma, Matthew Waddell out of Georgia, and a kid named Jacob Woodley out of Pennsylvania, who I watched Super 32, and he's not great yet, but I think he's going to be really good. So I believe that's a really deep, strong class.
I think that Oklahoma has the deepest class. Like, out of all of Oklahoma's kids, their 4th or 5th best is better than any other school's 4th or 5th best.
I would say, yeah, I like their class a lot. Yeah, I don't.
So because of that, I think you got to put them in the top 5, right?
Yeah, I mean, I would say I don't know that anyone's put out recruiting class rankings yet, but I would say they'd go very high up there.
Their number 1 guy on the big board is, I think it's Demas.
No, their number 1 guy.
Yeah, it's Dom Demas at number 28.
Yeah.
Then you got Littorell at 33. Then you got Montanona at 42.
Yeah, they fall right in there.
Yeah, and then you got Jake Boyd at 55. Then you got Lawson. Where's he at?
They're all top 100. I don't know exactly where they're all.
Yeah, I would say that's the deepest class.
Yeah, really, really tough class.
There's just not a guy on that list that is surefire, take it to the bank. He's stepping on the mat as a freshman and just freaking taking dudes out.
Yeah.
As Iowa's got a guy in Spencer Lee, Cornell's got a guy in Diakomahalis.
And Aruja. Aruja's the real deal. And Warner's the real deal at Iowa. So they both have a couple.
Fix has a guy. Oklahoma State has a guy. I mean, the Singletary.
Penn State's got Nick Lee and Brady Berge, who are both, I believe they're both top 10 pound for pound. So that's, Penn State's
Ohio State's got Singletary, who, I mean, I just like how he's built for a big guy. I mean, if anybody that can hit it.
What do you know about big guys?
Day, well, here's the thing about if you can truly hit a good head inside single leg, good one.
Okay.
A good one.
Okay.
You're 230 pounds with height.
Yeah.
How do you lose? How do you not get All-American?
Yeah, I mean, when you're looking at it,
you get that corner, dude.
Yeah.
If you get that corner. I mean, that's all. I mean,
that was Mark Ellis' playbook. I coached him at Missouri.
Right.
Yeah, and really, Tommy, though, when we look at the heavyweights over the last however many years, there haven't been any 285-pound giants that have had a huge amount of success. It's been almost all 240 to 260, we'll say.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, that's kind of where you're going right now with the heavyweights, and that's something that Singletary is going to grow into.
Yeah.
And
he does need a year. He needs a year, though.
Yeah. I think that's important.
He is a string bean right now.
And then the last one, like I said, Nick Lee and Brady Berge. Nick Lee's freaking good. Brady Berge, and I just don't get what, I'm not running the team. And, have you heard that? Do you listen to the FRL at all with Willie and CP?
No, I'm sparing the and I can't.
Okay. Well, it's on iTunes. Just like, hey, speaking of iTunes, we're on iTunes. Subscribe to us if you're listening to us on SoundCloud. But there's this clip where CP is like, I can't remember if he was questioning Kale or something, and then Kale goes, "Oh, you got a plan?" And so whenever they start talking about Penn State's lineup, Willie just plays that clip. "Oh, you got a plan?" To CP.
That's great.
Guy laughing. It's a really funny part. So
that is.
It's hilarious. So to this point, I don't know that I have a plan, but Tommy, and if you're getting these guys, you can't turn them down. But they got now Nick Lee, Brady Berge, Mason Manville, Mark Hall, Vincenzo Joseph. They're all like the same weight class.
Yeah, I know. And these are guys with a lot of innate advantages.
God dang it, Tommy. We're going to have this out one time. The thing is, there's no such thing as talent because, especially in wrestling, any set of innate advantages can make you successful. So what is talent? You can't define it. You can't put a finger on it, Tommy. Because being strong doesn't make you good, or having endurance doesn't make you good, or being mentally tough doesn't make you good. It takes a unique combination of those things.
We should have a live debate, a real one, about wrestling without the presidential tonality, and have someone ask us questions. Because I want a piece of you.
I'd stomp you. Stomp a mud hole in your butt. Okay, so let's go. Last topic of the day, and I don't know how much.
I'm giving it to Cornell. Is what we didn't even get to.
I like Cornell's class. I'm
giving it to Cornell.
Unfortunately, I like Iowa's class too.
I know. I'm going Cornell, then Iowa, then Penn State.
Man, Penn State's so good because they have these two. They're really superstars. Yeah. I would say, and then they follow up with Bravo Young and Whitlake in the next class. They already got him, and then Nick Lee's brother, I believe, is a junior or sophomore, and then they got Adam Busiello. So it's like, man, they got this freaking pipeline right now.
Yeah, and then I'd say they're the next three, and I don't know what order I'd go with: the Buckeyes, Iowa State, and Oklahoma.
Oh, you rating the Buckeyes way too high.
I put a lot of credence in Romero.
You know that Missouri signed 2 Ohio boys this year, right?
Yeah, I know.
Alan Hart and Jared Campbell.
St. Ed's boy. Yep.
I believe they're both St. Ed's kids.
Yep, nice. Jared Campbell, St. Ed's.
Nice.
I don't know much about this kid. I got to look him up.
He's a 220-pounder. I believe he won full nationals or second place maybe. Somewhere in there. Tough kid.
There's a Dirty Flow video. Maybe I'll watch it while we're going to our next topic.
There we go. Okay, so our next topic would be the Journeyman Classics. Did you catch any of that? And one of the reasons that I wanted to bring this up was because if you do remember Matt Storniolo, we had him on a few weeks ago, was talking about kind of these a mini tournament type of
Which is what
thing.
this is.
Which is essentially what this is. And you know what? I kind of think it's interesting because everyone does the same bracketing format, open tournaments. And I thought this was kind of interesting. And you know, I don't think you need 5, 6, 7, 8 matches in a day like some people get in those large open tournament brackets. I think for these guys to get three or 4 matches with people who are of their approximate skill level, right? Because they were bracketed roughly by how good they were. You know, I think that's exactly what you need at this time of the season.
Yeah, I like the logic and the approach that Storniolo had, and the Journeyman Classic run by Papalizio, who you say we're going to have on the show.
We need to have Papalizio on the show.
I think we need. I
Did
like.
you see what he's doing in the spring,
We
Tommy?
need East Coast guys on the show.
Tommy,
to
did
come
you
on
see
here
what
and
he's
just tell-
doing in the spring?
What?
This freaking, he's got like a youth/high school world championship. This dude's got like 20 countries coming, Tommy.
Yeah, he's a promoter.
It's freaking insane. I can't.
We need an East Coast guy on the show to come on here and tell us how stupid we are, and I think Papalizio is the guy for the job.
What? Stupid? Who's stupid?
I'm just saying, East Coast people just love to smack you around.
I know they do, don't they? And Frank's a hustler. I mean, he's for real. You know, one thing I thought that maybe you wouldn't like about, we're not going to talk about all these weight classes because it is quite a few. One thing I thought you'd be kind of disappointed in is that your man, Keyshawn, kind of got his butt kicked.
Yeah, he lost 7-0 to Jack, and I was talking to a person who will remain unnamed in the Ohio State wrestling program, and I like this Keyshawn guy. He's just got a nice, good attitude. I'm thinking long term, not in the next 3 weeks. Yeah. I just like this guy. But when you score 0 points, that's a problem. Well, seriously, I mean, if you think about it, Ben,
that's funny,
let's break it down though.
He didn't get an escape or a takedown. I get it.
Yeah, when you score 0 points, even if it's 3-0, that's a problem.
Sure.
That's a problem. That speaks to a lot of things.
That being said, I mean, Kevin Jack's a freaking beast on top.
He is. He is. But I'm just telling you that when you score 0, it speaks to a lot of issues that need to get fixed.
Sure.
Because either you had to avoid mat wrestling or you got ridden out, one or the other, right?
Yeah.
That's huge. That's huge in the quarters.
Okay, you're making a good point here.
From the quarters on at the NCAAs, if you choose neutral or get ridden out, you are in deep doo-doo. Okay? Last time I remember somebody choose neutral, I remember clear as day, Nathan Tomasello chose neutral going into the second period against Alan Waters. That was the last time I saw a guy choose neutral and win. And I don't know if I remember the time other than that prior to it. And so if you score 0 in a match against a ranked guy, that is a red alert. Let's fix the problems right away. Yeah. Because you got to be able to generate points. If you lose freaking 11-6 and you had 2 takedowns, and you know, I feel better about 11-6 than I do 3-0.
Sure. Hey,
does that make sense?
No, you're making a great point. You're making a really good point. And I would say I agree with you, and that's something a lot of freshmen struggle with, is getting off bottom, and that is an issue. That's definitely an issue.
I think the kid's going to overcome it.
Okay, so let's talk about let's finish up with this Journeyman Classic. I can't remember what the Journeyman something.
We're having fun talking about Keyshawn.
Yeah, Micah Jordan looks good. Gets the win, 3 tough wins. Finals over Lake Gardner. That's a good sign. Maybe people would have liked to see him be a little more dominant there. I don't know. What do you think?
Yeah, but he's in a new weight class. He's doing just fine, if you ask me.
Sure.
Beating All-American last week.
Cool. Well, I want to give a shout out to my man Andrew Crone, Arrowhead High School alumni and AWA wrestler. He got the big W. He's now a junior at the University of Wisconsin. Beat Josh Marouk from Arizona State. 13-1 in the finals. I'm going to close this podcast out myself because Tommy has now gone off for the 4th time. The other weight that was actually really good at this, there was a couple good matches. There was Anthony Valencia had a really good one against Dylan Cottrell. If you haven't got the chance to check that out on Flow, make sure you check that out. And then his brother Zahid and Ethan Ramos at 170. Guys, you know, this is hard. I never really hosted a podcast by myself, so I'm doing it now. At heavyweight, we had Connor Medbury with the win, and this is the most competitive weight class, with the win over Tanner Hall. Tanner Hall obviously had a big week last week, beating the number 6 and the number 4. So like I said, Tommy has left us once again. So I'm going to close this one out myself. I think I am very much looking forward to the Virginia Tech at Northern Iowa match this Friday, but I'm looking even more forward to Missouri Virginia Tech on Sunday. That's going to be a great match. A lot of ranked wrestlers matching up. Obviously, you got number 5 versus number 6. Missouri being number 5, Virginia Tech being number 6. And there's going to be tight matches all the way to the duel. I think Zach Zavatsky versus William Mikolas is a really important matchup. And then, right down 125, you got Barlow McGee and Joey Dance. They went to overtime. That's another one. Right off the bat, that's going to be a really, really, really good match. So thank you guys all for listening. Sorry, that was a rough show with Tommy logging off so many times on us. And thank you, Dollar Ramas, for the sponsorship. And thank you, as always, to Defend Soap. Defend what you have built. And guys, next week, we will be back with episode number 50. I honestly can't believe we made it that far. And we're going to make wrestling great again.
You are listening to the T-Row and Funky Show, brought to you by Defend Soap. Defend what you have built.